Welcome to the deep dive. We take interesting sources, unpack them, and really pull out the key insights for you, basically helping you get right to the valuable stuff. Today, we're digging into some really potent ideas from Coach Ed Padalecki. Coach Padalecki uses this fantastic analogy from filmmaking, actually, to flip how we view errors, setbacks. It's super relevant if you're aiming for high performance, business, coaching, athletics, you name it. So, our mission here is to explore this filmmaking analogy Coach P uses and see what practical, powerful lessons we can take away for directing our own lives. Let's get into it. Okay, so Coach Padalecki kicks things off by asking you, the listener, to imagine yourself as the director of your own life's production.
The director's chair.
Exactly. And he says, as director, you've already got some serious resources. First, this blockbuster budget, which he says is your finite time, energy, and focus.
Right. Acknowledging those aren't unlimited is key. That's the starting point.
Definitely. Then you have your talented crew. Coach Padalecki sees this as your support system, your habits, the routines and systems you rely on.
Your personal production team, the infrastructure you've built.
Precisely. And lastly, every film needs a compelling script. For our lives, Coach P says this is basically your values, your vision, and your concrete goals.
Okay, so you've got the budget, the crew, the script. Sounds like you're all set for success, even with all that in place. I mean, think about an actual movie set. $1 million budgets, top actors, great scripts.
And they still mess up lines.
Constantly. Flubbed lines, timing off, props wrong. Takes and retakes are just normal. Filmmaking is iterative. It's built on fixing things.
It's definitely not glamorous behind the scenes all the time.
Not at all. And Coach P's argument is, look, if a controlled movie set needs endless takes, why would we expect our complex, unpredictable lives to be any different? Expecting a perfect first take in life is just setting yourself up. Things go wrong. That's the reality he wants us to normalize.
Which leads us perfectly into maybe the most crucial idea from Coach Padalecki here. Reframing mistakes as mistakes.
Yes, and it taps right into performance psychology, which Coach P clearly understands well. The words we use, how we label outcomes, it shapes everything. Think about elite performers, Olympians, top CEOs. They don't crumble after an error.
Why not?
Because they don't see it as some fatal character flaw. They don't catastrophize. They've learned to normalize errors.
Normalize. What does that really mean, though? It's not just accepting poor work, is it?
Oh, absolutely not. Normalizing errors means you expect them as part of pushing boundaries. You anticipate imperfections, and you're ready to learn from them when they happen. Coach Padalecki puts it brilliantly. Each mistake isn't failure, it's practice. It's a rep for mastery. A rep for mastery. I like that frame.
It changes the whole dynamic, doesn't it? A mistake feels heavy, like a final verdict. But a mistake, that's just data. It's feedback on that specific attempt. Okay, this happened, that didn't work, here's why. Now what do I adjust for the next try? It strips away the shame, the emotional weight.
Turns it into useful information.
Exactly. Purely functional.
So if these errors are just mistakes, just data points, how does the high-performing director actually use that data effectively? Coach Padalecki lays out a clear four-step process. He says this is what Olympic-level performers in business and life do. It's like their continuous improvement loop. Okay, step one, set the shot. This sounds like it's all about intention, being crystal clear on what you're trying to achieve in this specific moment, this specific action.
Yes, knowing precisely what success looks like for this take before you even start. If you don't know the target, how can you tell if you missed? You need that benchmark. Makes sense. Okay, step two, roll camera. Simple enough. This is doing the thing. Taking the action, having the conversation, launching the initiative. You're actually filming.
This is execution, where you generate the raw footage, the actual performance data we were talking about.
And that data leads straight into step three, review the playback. This is the reflection part. You look objectively at what just occurred. Compare it to your intention, your script, what worked, what didn't, what was the actual result.
Like a director watching the dailies, right? Analyzing it.
Yeah.
Not touching yourself, but analyzing the performance. What does this footage tell me? This is where you find the lesson inside the mistake.
Got it. And finally, step four, reshoot. Based on that review, you adjust your approach, tweak your technique, then you go again. You use the feedback from the mistake to inform the next attempt.
And Coach P really stresses this. This cycle is the engine for progress. It builds confidence, it builds momentum, not by some giant leap, but consistently, one reshoot at a time. Mastery comes from iterating through these loops again and again.
You mentioned performance psychology, and Coach Padalecki brings in sports psychology specifically, talking about mental flexibility in elite athletes.
This is a really well-researched area. What often separates the best from the rest isn't that they don't make errors, they do, but it's how incredibly fast they recover from them. They train themselves to bounce back almost instantly from what Coach P calls misfires.
So what does that mental flexibility look like? What are the characteristics according to Coach P?
He lists a few key things. First, they bounce back fast. Speed is crucial. Second, they absolutely do not attach shame or heavy self-criticism to the error itself. It happened? Okay, move on. And third, they analyze, adjust, and reset again fast. That whole recovery cycle is rapid, no dwelling, extract the data, implement the change, next play.
And he connects this directly back to everyday situations for us. That sales pitch that fell flat, that important meeting where you kind of went off script, a deadline missed because of the small oversight, an unexpected problem derailing a project. He says, look, those are all just a mistake.
Exactly, just one take, not the whole movie.
The power lies in the response. His advice seems to be mentally clip that moment. Learn the lesson from it. Don't let shame paralyze you. Just keep filming. Either reshoot that specific scene better next time or apply the learning to the next scene. It's about separating who you are from that one single outcome.
It's a practical form of resilience, not built on pretending errors don't happen, but on getting really skilled at processing them efficiently.
And Coach Ed Padalecki, thankfully, doesn't just leave us with theory. He offers a practical exercise, something tangible. He calls it a 1% better daily challenge. It starts with step 1, scene check. Basically, identify one specific area, work or life, where you recently had what felt like a bad take. Where did you feel frustrated or disappointed with the results?
Right. Pick something concrete. Don't stay vague. Pinpoint an actual mistake you experienced.
Then step 2, reframe. This is the conscious part. Actively shift your view. Extract the lesson from that mistake. What did reviewing the playback actually teach you? What useful data is there once you remove the judgment?
This is the core of it, isn't it? It's not about beating yourself up. It's objective analysis. What information did that performance give me for next time?
And the final step, step 3, action. Identify one small specific adjustment you can make. Maybe today, maybe the next time that situation comes up. That's your reshoot. Based on the lesson, what's one tiny tweak?
And Coach P's comment on this challenge really sums up the mindset. No drama, no shame, just a high-performance professional refining their craft. It's about taking on that identity, someone who uses every experience, especially the tough ones, as practice, as refinement.
That feels lighter, doesn't it? Not carrying the weight of failure, but being empowered by the process of refining. So as Coach Ed Padalecki wraps up, he gives us some final director's notes, some clear takeaways. First, maybe the biggest one. Life just isn't supposed to be a one-take deal. Expecting perfection is, well, a recipe for frustration.
Embrace the process, the inevitable messiness.
Second takeaway. Your best moments, your biggest breakthroughs, often come right after your biggest bloopers. The learning curve is steepest after a mistake, and that learning fuels future success.
The adjustment is where the magic happens.
And finally, every cut, every time things don't go to plan and you have to stop, adjust, restart, it's not an end. It's a chance to come back sharper, smarter, better prepared for the next take.
You know, pulling all this together from Coach Padalecki, it leaves us with a really interesting question for you, the listener, to think about. If every single mistake really is just practice, just a rep for mastery, then what perceived failures or setbacks in your life right now are you maybe underutilizing? What valuable practice footage are you leaving on the cutting room floor instead of using it to become truly elite?
That's a powerful thought to sit with. This whole framework from Coach Ed Padalecki offers such a useful lens, viewing challenges not as dead ends, but as necessary steps on the path to high performance. Maybe try that scene check, reframe, and action challenge this week. See what happens when you start treating mistakes as mistakes. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.